Welcome back to this week's edition of the Torah Podcast. This week's Parshas VAYIKRa, the beginning of a new Sefer VAYIKRa. Emir Hashem, all of us here, this podcast family, the Torah Podcast family, should be Zoycha to unearth, to uncover, to delve deep into the root of all of the karbanos, all of the offerings, to figure out their lessons and then apply them to our daily lives. We will begin from the first words, VAYIKRa el Moshe, God called to Moshe. We know the Aleph Ze'ira, the small Aleph in the word VAYIKRa, stands out. Why is the Aleph small? The Baal HaTurim tells us that this actually has a story behind it. When Hashem told Moshe to write the words VAYIKRa el Moshe in the Torah, and Moshe's writing it down, Moshe knows that the word VAYIKRa is an endearing and beloved way to refer to somebody. Like, VAYIKRa means, and he called in a very specific and endearing way, and it makes Moshe look very holy, very important, which we know he is. But Moshe was such an anav. He was so full of humility that he didn't want to write VAYIKRa. He wanted to write VAYIKAR without an aleph. Like we find that when Hashem called to Bilam, a non-Jewish prophet, he said the word VAYIKAR, El Bilam, and he called to Bilam without the aleph. Says the Baal HaTurim, that's why Moshe elected to make an aleph, VAYIKRA, but to make it small. Therefore, he fulfills both shitos. Now, Reb Shach brings up a really phenomenal question, which is, it's beautiful that Moshe is such an anav, and that the Baal HaTurim is telling us that Moshe had this idea to write a small aleph. But the word VAYIKRA has shown up in the Torah before. Why did Moshe Rabbeinu not feel the need to make alephs small any time before this? Really a strong question. V'yesh la'ayin, he says. This is the Rosh Hashiva of previous generations of Panovich, Reb Elazar Menachem Man Shach, in his Sefer Machshavas Musar. Madua davka bepasuk zeh nizgar v'kasav aleph ketana. Why specifically here is the aleph small? There's so many times in the Torah it says VAYIKRA, but the aleph is of regular size. Says Reb Shach, every once in a while you hear a new vart that kind of alters your view of life, changes your perspectives on things, and Emir Tashem, this could be one of them. And it was one for me. Says Reb Shach, that we know Moshe Rabbeinu, zooming out, was an ish who was anav mikol adam, the most humble of all people on the land. Now, does that mean that Moshe Rabbeinu reached a certain level of humility, and therefore he's the anav mikol adam, and the Yetzer Hara has no more, the evil inclination has no more attempts or no chance to get him to stumble because Moshe has already reached, he's the anav mikol adam. He's done it. Says Reb Shach, that's not what it means. Rather, it means that every single day, we know in the Chovos HaLevavos Shar Yichud HaMaisa Perek that the Yetzer Hara wakes up to get us to stumble. Always trying, when we're asleep, setting up his traps. We work 100%, he's working 110%. He's always going to give us a run for our money. We have to be strong. We have to be smart. We have to be cunning. We have to come up with new mahalchim to be the Yetzer Hara. Says Reb Shach, so Ish Moshe Anav Mikol Adam, that means that till the day Moshe died, he was constantly battling and coming up with new tactics and coming up with new mahalchim and new angles to combat this evil inclination. Says Reb Shach, that when Moshe Rabbeinu woke up on the day that he was supposed to write VAYIKRA, and Hashem said, write the word VAYIKRA, and Moshe had a Yetzer Hara that he was feeling gaivadik, on that day he was mechadish, a new angle to fight the Yetzer Hara. I'm going to write a small aleph to keep myself humble. Unbelievable. Every day we have to take time and do introspection to say, what am I going to do today that's going to fight back against the Yetzer Hara? How am I going to take the fight to him? How am I going to come up with new energy and new angles to be able to fight back? We have to be smart. We have to learn from our previous failures and learn how to be able to find his places that he hasn't gotten us yet and take the fight to him. The Aleph Ze'ira says Aminanov, but every day I come up with new tactics to fight back. A moiridik chiddush we learn here. As we go through this sefer, we should be zoicha that through every carbon and through every pasuk, we should add it to our binyan, to our building of our Melchamas Hayetzer, which is the most important thing in life. And it should inspire us and give us new avenues and alleys to be able to fight back. A moiridik Shabbos.